10 minutes before the wedding, my fiancé suddenly said he had a stomachache. Honey, could you please go buy me some stomach medicine? I don't want to ruin the wedding later. I want to give you the most perfect memory. I rushed out of the hotel in the rain to buy medicine, but when I returned, I was stopped outside the banquet hall. Sorry, the wedding has already started. No unauthorized personnel are allowed to enter. I was dumbfounded. Without me, the bride, how did the wedding begin? The waiter reluctantly pushed open a crack in the door for me. I only saw in the center of the hall my bride, embracing and kissing his dream girl. Enjoy the applause and congratulations from everyone in the audience. I put my hand on the doorknob, eager to rush in. But I was stopped again. I told you no irrelevant people are allowed in. Looking at how flashy you're dressed, are you trying to crash the wedding? A man gripped my wrist, his fleshy face a warning. Bystanders? How could I be a bystander? This wedding was clearly meant for Nathan. I am the bride of this wedding. I stated my identity. I am Nathan's wife, and the person kissing someone else inside is my husband. Hearing this, the man frowned and sized me up. Just when I thought he was going to let me go. The next second, he grabbed my wrist and dragged me away from the entrance of the banquet hall. No wonder my brother-in-law asked me to guard this place. He was actually trying to stop a foul-mouthed, ignorant bitch like you. You must be tired of living, daring to steal my sister's man. He threw me hard and I staggered back a few steps, my back hitting the wall, making me grimace in pain. But I still insisted that the man inside was my husband. Call him out and ask him who exactly is he marrying today. I dated him for 4 years, met each other's parents, all our friends know us. When did he become your brother-in-law? The pain in my back made me understand. Sending me away to buy stomach medicine, deliberately having someone guard the door to prevent me from causing trouble. Nathan, my soon-to-be husband, had been planning all of this for a long time. Looking so handsome yet spewing lies. Are you Nathan's bootlicker? Heard that my idol is getting married and deliberately came here to cause trouble. I've seen plenty of tricks like yours. Get lost before I lose my temper. But I still kept rushing in. I had to find Nathan and get a clear answer today. Why would he do this to me? A punch followed, knocking my head back. Nosebleeds flowed out instantly. Damn it, you don't know what's good for you, then don't blame me for being rude. The man shook his aching arms. You dare ruin my sister's wedding, I'll beat you to death. The man grabbed my collar and threw me to the ground, followed by a barrage of kicks and punches to my face and body. I curled up into a ball from the beating. The words she muttered were still the same. The person inside is my husband. The man, tired from hitting, spat. Only this way will you be honest. Once the man entered the banquet hall, I collapsed on the ground, my whole body trembling from the pain. I really can't figure it out. Why would my fiancé, who was messaging me last night looking forward to our wedding today, do this? After the hotel staff took me to the hospital, I took out my phone to call Nathan. The female voice on the line announced that the call could not be connected. It seems that, just in case, Nathan had even blacklisted my phone number. I simply sent him a message on WeChat. Come to the hospital and explain to me what exactly happened today. But the message sank without a trace. During my 2 days in the hospital, Nathan didn't contact me once. And I couldn't reach him at all. It wasn't until just before I was discharged that I received a friend request from a stranger on my phone. After clicking agree, the other party quickly sent photos. They were all photos from the wedding day. You arranged a very successful wedding, I liked it very much. Look at that boastful and smug tone. I know who she is now. Since we're married now, I'll give him to you. I wish you two are locked together forever. Just as the message was sent, the phone rang after a long time of being unreachable. Nathan's first words were a reprimand. Scarlett, Vivian was kind enough to show you the wedding photos. What the hell are you doing? What madness am I spouting? Do you want to hear what he's saying? Nathan, you're quite pleased with yourself for sending me away and marrying another woman, aren't you? Nathan's tone faltered and he said guiltily, who told you to leave? A wedding can't happen without a bride. Nathan, get this straight, you're the one who asked me to go out and buy you stomach medicine. I said, suppressing my anger. Just because I asked you to go buy it, you went? You can't even tell what's more important, so indecisive. Besides, couldn't you have asked someone else to borrow it? You ran out in such heavy rain, your makeup and hair are ruined. Vivian came to save the day, she gave me a perfect wedding. You don't have to thank her, but you're being so sarcastic. Having been with Nathan for so long, this is the first time I've realized how capable he is of distorting the truth. Don't think I don't know who she is. Vivian, Nathan's ideal woman. I've never met her, but when Nathan and I first got together, I saw her picture in her graduation photo. The reason I noticed her at all was because of a sentence Nathan wrote on the back of the graduation photo. Vivian, I must marry you. And in the photo, wherever Nathan's gaze fell, his eyes were full of her. I never told Nathan about this. So when Nathan heard that I knew who Vivian was, there was a distinct pause in his tone. I continued, Nathan, congratulations, you finally got what you wanted. The sarcastic tone immediately infuriated Nathan on the other end of the phone. The previous guilt had vanished. Scarlett, what do you mean? Talk to me properly. Wasn't marrying her your long-held wish? I sneered. So what's wrong with me congratulating you? He probably thinks I'm just saying these things out of jealousy and anger, not meaning what I say. Softening his voice, he said, Scarlett, it's true that I didn't consider this thoroughly enough, but think about it, even though the wedding isn't yours, the bride is your own, what more could you want? Honestly, that statement made me laugh in anger. The last time I heard such a bizarre statement was the last time. Seeing my silence, he thought I had figured it out, but I was rendered speechless by him. I feel like I can't communicate with him. By the way, where have you been? Haven't seen you for days. After blocking me for a few days, you finally remember to ask about my whereabouts. I said, I'm in the hospital. Oh, when you get discharged, remember to tidy up the house. It was a bit of a mess from the wedding games that day. No questions about why I'm in the hospital, no concern about whether I'm injured. The tone was as bland as scrambled eggs with tomatoes for lunch today. I remember the boy who used to feel so sorry for me that he would cry when I stumbled or got hurt. He has finally drifted away with the memories. I suddenly feel very tired. Every word I say to him repeatedly tugs at the wound. If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up. Without waiting for the other person to speak, I hung up the phone on my own and silently made some decisions in my heart. The day arrived when I could be discharged from the hospital. I looked at the cast on my arm and took a taxi home. But unexpectedly, I ran into Nathan and the woman beside him, Vivian, just as they were coming downstairs. They were both surprised to see me as well. Vivian was the first to react. You must be Scarlett. What a coincidence to see you here. Nathan and I are just about to leave for a week-long trip. Would you like to join us? Travel? I looked at Nathan. What was he up to this time? Nathan coughed twice, raised his head and craned his neck. Vivian helped you so much, shouldn't I spend a few days with her to show my gratitude? This is social etiquette, don't you understand? He drove me away and held a wedding with another woman, and now he wants to marry another woman. You don't take your own fiancé seriously, and you're already blaming me for not understanding social graces. Sorry, I really don't understand his philosophy. I walked around them wanting to go home, but Nathan grabbed me. When I talk to you, why don't you react at all? Does being in the hospital mean you've lost all basic manners? Because of the struggle, my nail hit his belt hard, and the piercing pain instantly brought tears to my eyes. The nail was still the wedding nail he accompanied me to get. At the time, the nail technician even teased us. He said he rarely sees men willing to accompany their wives to get manicures. Wedding manicures are intricate and complex, and waiting can take up to 4 hours. But Nathan looked happy and said, if I don't spend time with my wife, who should I spend it with? Loving my wife is loving myself. After leaving, Nathan took a small red envelope from my bag and handed it to the manicurist, hoping to share the joy. But now he ignores the cast and bruises on my wrist and doesn't care about my fingernails cracking because of his actions. But I don't think you need to go anyway. You don't like going out anyway, so just go home and tidy up the house. I know why he came to this conclusion. When I first got together with him, neither of us had much money. Every day is the same routine between my company and home. Sometimes colleagues and friends ask me to hang out. I always say I don't like going out. But do I really not like it? I laughed at myself mockingly. I shook off his hand and walked upstairs. Nathan didn't follow. But I still clearly heard their words. Nathan, isn't it a bit much to not let Scarlett go? She seems upset. Why don't you go on your honeymoon with Scarlett and I won't go? Nathan said nonchalantly, it's okay, she's always like that. Since I promised to go out with you, I definitely won't go back on my word. The elevator arrived. I got on the elevator facing outwards. I happened to see Nathan tidying Vivian's clothes. They really looked like a newly married couple. Back home. The moment I opened the door, a fermented wine smell mixed with a stench hit me in the face. I couldn't help but take 2 steps back, confirming if the house number was indeed mine. Nathan had mentioned that the house was messy, but I didn't expect a decent home to turn into a junkyard. Messy clothes, trash, oil-stained carpets, a sound system doused in alcohol, a TV struck by a heavy object, even my favorite potted plant is covered with a thick layer of vomit. And that's not all. Yesterday's wedding dress and bridal gown are also thrown on the floor. The tears are a testament to how intense that day was. I covered my nose and went into the bedroom. Wrinkled sheets, the stench of heather, shoes kicked aside, and a pair of blue boxer briefs hanging silently at the foot of the bed. With all this before my eyes, what else could I not understand? I went to the closet, packed my clothes, picked up my suitcase and left. I don't want to stay in this place for even a second longer. I found a nearby hotel and checked in. I dialed my father's number, whom I hadn't contacted in a long time. The phone was answered and I heard my father's voice. The feeling of grievance burst forth in an instant. My father must have sensed something. "Honey, what's wrong?" I steadied my emotions and said, "Dad, the blind date you mentioned before, is he still interested?" He must have understood the grievances I suffered here. "Child, come back, Mom and Dad are waiting for you at home." My father's voice was also choked with emotion. The emotion infected me. I choked up and said, "Okay, but I need to take care of things here first." After hanging up, I unconsciously opened Moments. I happened to see a picture of the airport that Vivian had posted 2 minutes earlier. "A week-long trip begins. For these 7 days you belong only to me." Coincidentally, my father also sent me a message. The woman agreed to meet on the 20th. The 20th, counting the days, is exactly in the future. In other words, the day Nathan returns is exactly the day I leave. Day 1. I saw on Vivian's Moments that they went to the snow mountain together. Saw Nathan holding a bunch of fiery red roses, smiling brightly and flamboyantly. Saw his message to her in the comments section. "The brightest rose for the one I love the most." The corners of my mouth quirked into a smile, a self-deprecating one. I remembered the look of utter disgust on Nathan's face when I gave him roses. He said, "Giving a boy roses is so tasteless." Come on, let me share a blogger with you. His homepage is what boys really like. After that, every gift I gave him was personally selected and wrapped by me, trying my best to make him satisfied at every step. But it turns out he also plays favorites. If someone he likes gives him a bouquet of roses that are almost withered, he will still cherish them. So, did he really love me? I think he did. The first year we were together was when we were at our poorest. We would lie on the lawn in the park on our days off, weaving rings out of the foxtail grass that was always within reach and putting them on his fingers. At that time, although he would say, "Who proposes with dogtail grass?" I said, "Then forget it if you don't want to." I made a gesture to take it off. But Nathan covered it with his right hand. "If you give it to me, it's mine." "I don't care anyway, I'm wearing it now, so you have to marry me." I threw myself into his arms and held out my right hand. He also wove a ring and put it on my hand. Warm sunlight fell around us and he looked at the ring on his hand, a longing to marry me. So, having loved is the most painful thing. It is because of beautiful memories and proof of love that the separation is so agonizing. Day 3. I went to the company I co-founded with a friend. The company is not large, but it is enough for me to gain a foothold in the new city. Me arrive. Partner Adrian saw me, his eyes darting around with a guilty conscience. Even another colleague in the company didn't dare to look at me. I know they attended my wedding, but witnessed a wedding without me. I was the one who took the initiative to greet them. Seeing that I looked fine, Adrian plucked up his courage and asked, "Are you okay?" My colleagues were also eagerly watching my reaction. I shook my head. "I'm fine. Actually, no woman would be happy about this. I didn't see you that day and I didn't dare to contact you. Nathan said that you deliberately ran away before the wedding started, and he had no choice but to find someone to replace you and complete the wedding. I know you're not that kind of person, but after all, it's your family matter and I shouldn't ask too much." Adrian watched my reaction to every word he said. Seeing me listen to him so quietly, he couldn't quite figure me out. Finally, he asked, "So what are you two now?" "Of course, we're going back to our hometown to get married," I said. Adrian and his colleague frowned. Are you still going to get married? But it's good too, you're getting married here and your parents didn't come, so you'll definitely have to go back to your hometown for another ceremony. I knew they had misunderstood. She opened her mouth to explain, it's not with him. I'm planning to go back to my hometown. My parents introduced me to a guy and if things go well I'm planning to marry him. Adrian stared at me, a look of astonishment on his face. It felt like I was jumping from one fire pit into another. Does Nathan know about this? From what he understood, even though Nathan had done something bad at the wedding, Nathan probably didn't want to break up with Scarlett. Does he need to know? Adrian was silent for a moment. The anger suddenly turned into silence. I patted him on the shoulder and said in a relaxed tone, okay, I'm fine and it wasn't a rash decision. I came here today to discuss something with you. What is it? I'm planning to give you the studio. The studio was founded by Adrian and me together. I eloped with Nathan to a strange city back then. When I was preparing to establish myself in the new city, I applied for a job at a company. But when they saw my resume with my prestigious university degree, work experience at a listed company and excellent qualifications, they all asked one question. Why did you leave Dongyong Group? What was the reason? Dongyong is one of the top companies, and being able to leave there without stating a reason made them worry that I had done something wrong. Plus, I was unwilling to say more, so they all rejected me. Later on I gave up. Just as I was about to find a job that didn't require a degree to tide me over, I met Adrian. He was constantly running into obstacles and I was constantly being rejected. We looked at each other, hit it off immediately and decided to start our own business. Over the years, the studio has achieved some success. So, when Adrian heard that I was going to give him the studio, his mouth dropped open wide enough to fit an egg. Don't be surprised. Since I've chosen to return to my hometown, I don't think I'll be coming back here in the future. You're very capable and I believe you can run the company very well. Adrian knows my temper and knows when I've made up my mind. So he stopped trying to persuade me. Okay, don't worry, I will definitely make it bigger and bigger, but you don't have to give it to me. Just take the shares. I thought about it and agreed. We had our last meal together, waiting for the food to be served. I opened WeChat Moments again and saw what Vivian had posted. It was a picture of a bowl filled with peeled shrimp. I also have a boy who is willing to peel shrimp for me now. The picture filled with shrimp overlaps with the memory of the past. Back then Nathan and I lived in a basement and Nathan worked as a waiter at a restaurant. That night, Nathan came back with a bag of cold, boiled shrimp. His face was filled with excitement and pride. Scarlett, come and see what I brought back, a whole pound of shrimp. I saw some guests didn't finish them, so I secretly packed them up and brought them back. Try them. I told Nathan that I never eat anything with shells. Huh. Sorry, I didn't know. Nathan lowered his head, looking like a child who had done something wrong. I kissed him on the cheek. It's okay, don't waste so many shrimp. Go take a shower, I'll take care of it. When he came out of the shower, the shrimp had not only been heated up, but also peeled and neatly arranged in a bowl. I remember Nathan tearing up with emotion, hugging me tightly with the scent of shower gel. Scarlett, how are you so good to me? I looked at him, amused. You're my boyfriend, who else should I be good to if not you? The next day was a day off and he snuck out. When he came back again, his hand was wrapped in gauze, and he handed me a glass lobster ornament. Although you can't eat shrimp, you can still accept a gift, right? This is the best one I've made and you're not allowed to say it's ugly. At that time my heart was completely softened. What my husband makes is just so beautiful. I'm definitely going to carry it around every day so everyone knows how much my husband loves me. At that time, Nathan's eyes were full of starlight. Although life was hard back then. But Nathan was very content. But thinking about it that way, it dawned on me. All the happy and sweet days Nathan and I had seemed to be in the first year when we first got together. When did it start to change? Perhaps it was when Adrian and I started our business and he successfully got a job as a manager at a company. They started seeing less of each other from then on. Nathan's attitude towards me changed drastically and he started picking on me. Something suddenly flashed through my mind. I looked at Adrian. Can you ask around and find out if the woman who appeared at the wedding that day works at the same company as Nathan? Adrian was a smart man and he quickly realized what was happening. It just so happens that I have a collaboration with them recently. I'll ask now. Soon Adrian looked up, his face unreadable. I knew it, I guessed right. The reasons for Nathan's change have also been explained. He didn't suddenly have a whim at the wedding, but had been thinking about it for a long time. He watched me carefully prepare everything for the wedding, trying on wedding dresses, choosing formal wear, praising me on the surface for being a good wife, but behind my back he was probably laughing like crazy, laughing at me for being a fool, a clown, preparing everything for someone else. I clenched my fist. Being tricked without realizing it until later only strengthened my resolve to leave him. Fortunately, we weren't officially married, so there was no need to go through any complicated procedures. Day 5. I returned to the marital home once again. After a few days of fermentation, the smell in the house became even more unbearable. A neighbor saw me return and asked me to clean up the room. Last time you were arguing until midnight, and these past few days it's been unbearably smelly. You look like a decent person, how can you be so unhygienic in private? Hearing this, I said, I'm just here to collect recyclables. If you want to find the owner of this place, I can give you their phone number. The neighbor quickly apologized upon hearing this. Little girl, I'm sorry, but now that I look at you, you really don't look like the woman from those days. I nodded, went inside and closed the door, ignoring the mess on the floor. I started packing my things. The clothes and pants had already been tainted with the stench of the room. I threw them all away. Among them was a long dress Nathan had bought me. When I first started my business and needed to discuss business with other bosses, Nathan felt that I couldn't be without a presentable outfit. He spent several months' salary to customize a professional long dress for me. I felt sorry that all the money he worked so hard to earn was spent on me. Nathan didn't care at all and put the dress on me. I'm willing to spend money on you, see? You look so beautiful in it. I knew my taste wouldn't be bad. I looked at his fingers, wrinkled from the dishwater, took his hand and promised, Nathan, I will definitely make sure you have a good life. Okay, I believe you. Now, I carelessly tossed the clothes into the trash can as well, starting to clear out other clutter. Under the bedside table, the shattered glass lobster is a gift he once gave me. Since it's already broken, it's convenient that I don't have to clean it up. As for the display shelf, the foxtail grass ring I once gave him was sealed in resin by him. I originally wanted to throw it away too, but then I thought the resin was his own addition, so it should be considered his thing. All in all, I quickly finished packing my things. I'm erasing my existence in this house bit by bit. I gave all my belongings to the junk collector. I left the key inside the house as well. I won't be coming back here again. On the 6th day I bought the plane ticket. Afternoon flight. While waiting in the waiting room, I received a call from Nathan. Scarlett, are you sick? You wouldn't go this far, would you? Just because I went out with someone else, you're going to give me attitude? Vivian and I are just friends, and this time going out with her was just to thank her. I invited you then, didn't I? You were the one who didn't come. What's with the sudden outburst? I listened to his scolding. Strangely, I didn't explain or argue with him as usual. Perhaps at this moment he was no different from a stranger in my eyes. Why aren't you talking? Are you deaf? Exhaling, I officially declared, Nathan, we're breaking up. Who you go out with is none of my business. Scarlett, you really don't need to do this. If you really care about the wedding, we can just have another one. No need, and I don't care for it. Hearing this, he paused and sighed. You gave my phone number to the neighbor, didn't you? I know you're retaliating against me. There's no way you really broke up with me. Okay, I won't hold this against you, and you shouldn't be angry either. I called for a cleaning service, go open the door. Before he could finish, I hung up the phone. I heard the announcement that the plane was about to take off. I turned and left. As for the rest, let them rot here. When I got off the plane, I didn't expect my parents to pick me up. They looked at me, their eyes glistening with tears, and the servant took the luggage from my hand. I looked at them, just about to ask how they knew I had bought a ticket for today. On second thought, what is there that they don't know with their abilities? They've let me stay out here all these years without coming to find me. It's just because of what I said when I left them back then. Mom, Dad, I'm grown up now and I have my own thoughts in life. Nathan is the man I love and I want to marry him. As for the marriage you mentioned, I can't possibly marry someone I've never met. You've controlled me for so many years, it's time to let me be free, right? But now I look at my parents' graying temples. I finally understand that no matter how far I fly, nothing is better than home. Following them home, I found my room was exactly as it was before I left. The servant told me that since I left, my mother would come to see my room every day, and my father would sometimes come in and sit for a while. He told me, "They miss you very much, but they're afraid of disturbing you." I began to regret what I had been doing these past few years, hurting the people who truly loved me. Going downstairs, my favorite dishes were already laid out on the table. Mom put food on my plate and asked if I was really staying this time. "Yeah, I'm staying." To convince them, I continued, "Wasn't I supposed to have a blind date with the young master of the Chi family? I've decided I'll listen to you from now on." Mom and Dad exchanged a look. "Oh right, that child said that when you go on your blind date tomorrow, you should bring a honeysuckle flower." Honeysuckle? What is this request? Although puzzled, I still went to the appointment the next day. I've never met him. But when a boy in a sky blue casual tracksuit was waiting by the roadside, my first reaction was that it was him. I walked over and asked him, "Are you Leo?" The boy nodded. "Scarlett, long time no see." He took the honeysuckle from my hand and smiled, his white teeth gleaming. I feel like I've seen that smile somewhere before. At a coffee shop. I voiced my question. "Have we met somewhere before?" Leo's sunny and handsome face instantly fell when he saw that I really didn't remember what he looked like. "Looks like you really don't remember me." His aggrieved look made him look like a pitiful puppy. Puppy? I remember now. When I was 13, I had a serious illness. Being cooped up in the hospital for days was stifling, so I shook off my bodyguards and went outside for some fresh air. I leaned against the tree trunk, enjoying the long-awaited air. Until a little boy in a wheelchair also came to the tree. The little boy asked the caregiver to leave. He wanted to be alone for a while. Originally, I didn't plan to talk to him. But in the next second, I heard the boy sobbing. I was annoyed by the crying, so I asked him what was wrong. He was startled by me, but maybe because we were the same age, he said to me, "The doctor said I'll become a cripple in the future." I don't want to be a cripple. I still want to dance. I looked at his legs, not understanding how badly he was injured, but boys all love to run and jump. Just then, a small honeysuckle was climbing on a branch. I picked it and gave it to him. "I think your legs look fine, don't cry. Here, this is honeysuckle. Trust me, your legs will be better before winter comes." The boy took the flower, his red eyes looking at me. "Really? It's definitely true. If it's not better, come find me. I'll take responsibility for you." He saw the look of sudden realization on my face as I looked at his leg. Leo knew I remembered. "My leg is better, so are you still willing to take responsibility for me?" I walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau with Leo in a daze, inexplicably. Looking at the red booklet in my hand, I was still in a fog. Wasn't I supposed to be on a blind date today? How did I end up getting a marriage certificate? Leo looked at my stunned expression and affectionately took my arm. "I just went abroad to heal my leg and you ran off with someone else. Now that I've caught this opportunity, I absolutely can't let you have a chance to regret it again." "But..." Leo's tone changed and he lowered his head to kiss my lips. "The certificate has been stamped. I want to stamp your person too." I was dumbfounded. My heart was pounding uncontrollably. Leo saw my blood-red earlobes and my chest heaving violently. Tilting his head, he blinked at me and said, "Next, let's take wedding photos. I can't wait to marry you and bring you home." All day I felt like I was in a dream. Leo and I were nothing like we were when we first met. Even the photographer taking our wedding photos said that the affection between us was practically overflowing the screen. We were the most well-matched couple he had ever photographed. Before, I felt like a day was too short and it would pass by without me accomplishing anything. Only today did I realize that so much can be done in a single day. Decided on a life event, took the most important photos of my life and found the person to spend my life with. "Why haven't you posted on WeChat Moments?" Leo asked me. "What? You're not regretting it, are you?" I paused. "Post on WeChat Moments?" I remember when Nathan and I finished our wedding photos, I also posted them on WeChat Moments. At that time, I wanted everyone to know that I was married and had married the man I loved most. But when I asked Nathan to post them, he said, "Getting married is getting married, why show off on WeChat Moments?" I don't have that habit. But in reality, he was probably afraid of being seen by Vivian. This time, Leo and I not only posted our wedding photos, but also our marriage certificate photos. The moments were full of blessings. Some people were also wondering why the groom had changed. I didn't explain. But in the next moment after putting down my phone, a strange phone call came in. After answering, Nathan's voice came from the other end. "Scarlett, who did you marry? How dare you betray me?" I guess this is Vivian's phone. But I don't know where he got the news from. Until Adrian's voice came through the phone. Scarlett, I was just looking at your moments on WeChat when he came in and saw it. I didn't tell him on purpose. I know what kind of person Adrian is, so I naturally believe him. But since he contacted me, I might as well make things clear with him. Nathan, as you can see, I'm married. As for betrayal, I think you know better than I who betrayed whom. Nathan simply didn't believe the news that I was getting married. I know how much you love me. You're going to marry another man? Scarlett, if you're going to lie to me, at least come up with a better excuse. Okay, I know what you're worried about. Don't worry, the house has been cleaned and Vivian will leave too. We'll have another wedding, the one you want. I'll wait for you at home. He's impossible to reason with. I told him I was getting married and he still doesn't believe me. Leo next to me gestured for me to give him my phone. After he took it from my hand, he said, Nathan, right? I'm Scarlett's husband. You're welcome to come to our wedding. Nathan's voice cut through. Scarlett, this act is getting old. I've already given in and agreed to have another wedding with you. What more do you want? Do you have to disgust me this much? Leo opened his mouth. Sorry, but I'm the one marrying her. You don't have a chance. Scarlett, I'm giving you one more chance. Are you coming back? If you keep this up, I won't marry you. Speaking of which, I really have to thank you for not marrying him. Otherwise my marriage to him wouldn't have been so smooth. Nathan, Scarlett is a married woman now. Remember not to pester her anymore or I'll get jealous. With that, she hung up the phone without hesitation. And she blacklisted the number as well. When he handed the phone back to me, he looked at me with a guilty expression. Scarlett, you're not mad that I treated your ex-boyfriend like that, are you? Watching his two-faced demeanor, I couldn't help but pinch his cheek. So cute. When we both realized what I had done and said, we both blushed with embarrassment. My parents were very surprised when they found out I got my marriage certificate. They asked me when I was planning to have the wedding and Leo rushed to answer, next week, we're getting married next week. I've wanted to marry Scarlett for a long time. I've wanted to for 10 years. After all, both of our families are wealthy. Although time is short, everything that should be there is present. Everything is done according to the highest standards. At the wedding, the host asked me if I was willing to marry the groom. Looking into Leo's bright eyes, I was just about to say, I do. But a voice interrupted, I don't agree. The wedding doors burst open and Nathan in a suit ran breathlessly to me. Scarlett, I don't agree to you marrying him. Look, I'm here in a suit, I'm here to marry you. I brought my ID too. Divorce him and marry me, okay? I don't mind that you're divorced. As he spoke, he reached out his hand, revealing a ring on his ring finger. It was a foxtail grass ring. Judging by the color, he must have ruined the epoxy and taken the ring out. But after the passage of time and his rough removal, the ring was already badly damaged. With just a light touch, the ring would turn into a pile of ash. And so I did. With a gentle twist of my fingers, the ring snapped and became trash. Nathan stared at my actions in disbelief. Scarlett, why? This is the ring you gave me. We've broken up, there's no need to keep something like this. I didn't take it back then because I felt that derivative works belonged to Nathan. But now that there's nothing left but scraps, it's okay for me to destroy it. Scarlett, do you really not love me anymore? I really know I was wrong. Please don't leave me, okay? I just wanted to give my youth an explanation. I didn't want to lose you. Vivian is gone too. She won't appear in front of us again. Please come with me, okay? He wanted to grab my hand, but I dodged and Leo stepped forward. Mr. Shing, please leave. This is Scarlett's and my wedding. If you continue to be unreasonable, I will have to call the police. Nathan was unwilling to leave. Until the door was opened again. Vivian walked in. Nathan, he doesn't want you, I want you, come with me. Vivian came because I sent her a message. I looked at her and said, take him away. After much pulling and dragging, Nathan was finally gone. The wedding proceeded as normal. No one was affected by the farce just now. The ceremony is over, the groom may now kiss his bride. I closed my eyes and felt someone gently touch my lips. Amidst everyone's blessings, I smiled, stood on tiptoe and took the lead, kissing him deeply. 1 month after the wedding, I received a call from Vivian. Scarlett, you fucking lied to me. Why didn't you tell me there was still a $2 million mortgage on the house? I can't sell it now. I smiled mockingly. The reason Vivian came to the wedding to take Nathan away was entirely because I told her that the wedding house was in Nathan's name and worth over $5 million. As long as she married him, the house would be his. When the house was sold, the money would definitely be enough to pay off her high-interest loan. After I came back, I sent someone to investigate Vivian. I didn't believe a woman would appear out of nowhere. There must be a reason behind it. As expected, my investigation revealed that Vivian had already accumulated huge high-interest debts outside. She approached Nathan simply because she knew Nathan used to have a crush on her and was her simp, plus there was a sucker like me behind her. I took a sip of the tea in front of me. Did I say anything wrong? You just didn't ask clearly. Scarlett, aren't you afraid I'll ruin Nathan if you treat me like this? Does that have anything to do with me? He's your man now, you can do whatever you want with him. Okay, you just wait. After that, Vivian never contacted me again. I wasn't interested in their affairs either. It was Adrian who told me that he and his business partner ran into Nathan, who had been sold to a perverted tycoon by Vivian, while they were hanging out at a bar. He was wearing a mask and his eyes were swollen. Vivian is ruthless enough to sell Nathan to him. Everyone knows that guy doesn't discriminate, and several people have been beaten to death by him before. I have no comment on Nathan's situation. I only ask, what about Vivian? How is she? I heard he was caught at home by debt collectors, beaten so badly he's crippled, his life is ruined. Good, it wasn't a waste of my time contacting those people. Sigh, let's not talk about them, I came to tell you some good news. Our studio got an investment, 10 million. Do you know what 10 million means? It's enough for us to do what we want to do. Do you regret giving the company to me now? If you're willing to come back now, how about we split the shares 50-50 again? You can still be my partner. I looked at the investment plan I had just signed. No, I believe in your ability. I'd rather just hold on to my shares and live off them. Okay, if you don't see such a good opportunity, I won't agree if you want to come back later. Okay, Adrian. The 3rd month after taking over the company. I'm pregnant. He touched my belly with surprise, pulling me and acting spoiled. Before, I understood that you had a lot to deal with when you first took over the company, but now that you've taken over and you're pregnant again, shouldn't we arrange our honeymoon? Otherwise, once the belly gets bigger, we won't be able to go anywhere. As he spoke, he touched my belly. The baby says he wants to travel with mom and dad too. Seeing that I didn't answer, he feigned anger. Humph, still working while pregnant. If you don't care about yourself, I still care about my wife. Forget it, if you don't want to go then don't. I'm angry. Seeing this, I smiled and hugged his waist. No, I was just thinking about where we should go, what clothes you should wear, and whether we should find someone to make a guide. Leo gently hugged me back. Actually, no matter where we go, as long as I'm with you, it's fine. Wherever we are, I'll be happy. He kissed my forehead. Me too, as long as I have you, I'll be happy anywhere. That's all for today's story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll be bringing you new and exciting content every week, so don't miss out. Also, feel free to leave your thoughts and feelings in the comments section. Let's discuss and share together. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any story updates. Thank you for your support and we'll see you next time. Thanks.